Alright, I got a new combo deck for you guys today, and while other people are trying to improve their combo decks, I keep on coming up with worse new ones. That's right, this deck is not very good, but it's a lot of fun to play. It involves around these cards from Ravnica called the Eidolons, I think, or Eldlion? Elliots? I'm not for sure how to say it. Tell me in the comments like you guys do. But we're mostly concerned with their multicolored activation, where if we cast a multicolored spell, it returns from the graveyard to our hand. So we're trying to get as many of those into the graveyard to return them to our hand with our Wild Cantors and Metamorphoses, and then put them right back into the graveyard with Tolarian Winds and Flux to draw a crazy amount of cards, and hopefully kill them with Spiraling Embers. And if we end up having to discard our Spiraling Embers, we have one of Conjurer's Bubble to put to the bottom of our library, so we have to get that far in order to win. That's basically the deck. We just play all the fast mana and Pauper. And because this is such an atrocious deck, I took it to the best of one Pauper to play it. So let's get to that game. We keep our opening hand as it is the nuts, but we find out we are against our worst matchup, blue. We play a land and pass back. Our opponent plays another island and then Persistent Petitioners. On our turn, we cast a Faithless Looting, discarding a Stinkweed Imp and an Eidolon. Our opponent boomerangs our land back to hand. We dredge the Stinkweed Imp and then discard it to hand size for our turn, because you can't be counterspelled if you don't play anything. Our opponent plays a land and we pass again. And I notice they haven't been milling us with the Petitioners, which makes me wonder how they plan on winning. We replay our land and pass. Our opponent secrets us, filling up our graveyard even more. We dredge our Stinkweed Imp again and decide to cast our Wild Cantor to get back all our idiots, and he gets mana leaked. We still have 2 Lotus Petals though, so we can still try to go off from here. We crack them to Tolarian Winds our hand away. We find enough fast mana to wins again, but first we play our Wild Cantor to refill our hand. We now have this in the bag, as we only have 4 cards left in our library, and we still haven't seen our win con, so it's gotta be in the deck, right? Right? Our opponent concedes to a Rite of Flames, and so we decide to draw the rest of our deck to see how far down Spiraling Embers is, and we don't find it. Turns out that when I changed the deck right before this to put in the Stinkweed Imps, I accidentally took out our win con. Whoopsie. But through the sheer greatness of our deck, we still managed to win with no win con. So feeling pretty confident, we head over to the league practice rooms and start a match there. But don't worry, I actually have a way to win. I put in Spiraling Embers into the deck. Turns out it's the combo mirror, but our opponent is playing Caleb Gannon's version of Cycling Storm. His version of the deck is pretty sweet, so go check it out after this video. Game 1, opponent and I do our combo pre-gaming until turn 5, at which point our opponent, a filthy casual, just splurges on us. And ends up whiffing. We live. We Faithless Looting, Rite of Flame, Metamorphose, then Faithless Looting again, trying to find a will. But we don't, because the Magic Gods hate me. And then we pass the turn. A Filthy Casual plays a land, they cycle, and then swing. We draw nothing relevant and pass back. Our fellow combo player swings with their combo creature, as that is what combo decks do, and passes. We draw Flux. The Magic Gods might actually love me. We cast our Wild Cantor to fill up our hand even more, then draw 11 new cards and whiff. Bad. Yep, the Magic Gods definitely hate me. We discard to hand size and pass. Thanks to our Flux, our opponent can now just cycle enough to kill me, and we go to game 2. We don't sideboard because sideboarding is for weaklings. Do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger ever sideboarded? I don't. We keep our opening hand and pass back and forth with our opponent for the first 4 turns of the game. Because, to quote our opponent, a filthy casual, we're doing it. This is what Magic is all about. On turn 5, I exile an ape, crack a Lotus Petal into a Manamorphose, refilling our hand. And then we Tolarian Winds. Our new hand, we are missing a multicolored spell, so we pass. Our opponent plays a tapped black land and passes. We draw the multicolored spell we were missing in the form of Wild Cantor, cast it, and all our aliens come home. And we throw them back out again with a flex.
Another one.
And we will an additional time to get a fresh hand of 17 cards, leaving 5 cards in our library, cast a Lotus Petal, exile an ape, and Manamorphose to dig deeper and get enough cards in hand for a lethal Spiraling Embers. We cast a Faithless Looting here to go deeper, remember that. I cast a Bauble and use it to put Spiraling Embers to the bottom of our library, then cast Manamorphose to dig, then flex for the rest of the cards in my library. I get Spiraling Embers and realize I'm a mana short.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
So I concede the game. We could have got there if I didn't use the Faithless Looting and just fluxed instead for the rest of my library. And then we would have had the mana to Spiraling Embers. Huge shout out to a Filthy Casual, my opponent, for sitting through that. And as for the deck list you asked for, it's in the description below. In the next match, I got stomped on game 1, and they conceded the match game 2. And I haven't won a game since. So some final thoughts on this Idiots of Embers deck. If I had to change it, this is what I'd do. I took out the 4 Stinkweed Imps, because if we dredge our Conjurer's Bauble and the Spiraling Embers, we're screwed, we just can't win. And I replaced them with 1 Faithless Looting, so we go up to the full 4. And then 3 of these Aurora Idiots, Aliens. So that way when we do cast our multicolored spells, we have more cards that can go back to our hand, leading to bigger Tolarian Winds and bigger flexes, which hopefully leads to more consistency. Also, we replaced the Rugged Highland, I think is what it was called, with 3 mountains. The ability of the Rugged Highland to sacrifice itself for any color really didn't come up that much because we're running 8. Well, even the Lotus Petals can produce different colors. So I think just having the mana available there on turns where we don't play land can act like a little ritual, and we can start Faithless Looting faster. So this is how I changed the deck. Sideboard wise, I don't know. This is what I threw together. It's such a Glass Canyon deck that it's so hard to mess with the numbers, so I don't know what I would do with that. Anyways, in other news, I hit 100 subscribers. I tried to make this video a little bit different to kind of go along with that. Tell me what you think, if you like it, don't like it. Should I go back to how I usually do my videos, or keep doing these ones? Also, I want to do something special for 100 subscribers, and I'm looking for ideas. Should I just do a league with one of my decks again, like I did for my 50? Or should I do something else? If you guys have any ideas, please leave a comment of that idea, and leave a comment if you like this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.